it's Mike. So in this video, I would like to answer the question that I get a lot. And it is, why do you do rent to own instead of rentals? If anybody knows me and my rental style, my investing style on income property, it is 90% rent to own. I love rent to own, and I would like to take a few minutes in this video and tell you why. So strap in, grab yourself a bowl of cheese, and get ready to watch what I think is going to be a great video. So let's do it. Today we are headed to Lowe's to get some carpet for the townhouse we have been working on. If you haven't seen that video yet, the day in the life of a real estate investor, check it out. I'll post the link down below and you can watch it. It's really good. It's really good. So if you're sitting on the toilet for 15 minutes, you know, go ahead and watch it. You may not be able to stand afterwards, but okay. So let's talk about our topic. Rent to own versus rental. And this is one of the questions I get a lot. Mike, why do you do rent to own? Why not just do a rent house? I want to give you 3 of the major reasons why I don't do rental. And well, it's a lie. I actually have some rental, and that's another video why I did that. I mean, it was something I swore I would never do rentals, and I did them because the rental market was so high for rental that I was like, I'm just stupid if I don't. So I did it for a period of time, but then I started converting my rentals back into rent to own. So part of being a creative real estate investor, which is what I am, you got to be creative, is being able to transition from rent to own to rental, to Airbnb, to long-term rental, short-term rental. You know, you just got to be creative and do things with your property. Owner finance, you know, I love owner finance. And I'll make a video on owner finance and how you can make a lot of money doing owner finance as well. But so the reason number 1 I like rent to own instead of rental, first off, is the mindset of the people living in your house. Okay, let me explain. So if you have a person who is a renter, there is a rental mindset. They are not owners of the property. They are there to stay for a period of time. They are going to live there, and then they are going to be out. And when they leave, they typically have a mindset of they really don't care too much about your property. They're already thinking in the future. They're thinking about their next property, where they're moving into. They're thinking about their next job, their next relationship, their next life that's going to be so wonderful, and how terrible their life is living in your house. So that's not always the case, but a lot of times it is. So, oh, I'm getting a phone call. Renter mentality is totally different from a rent-to-own mentality. So a rent-to-own mentality is somebody that is actually wanting to purchase your property one day. They actually step into the deal like an owner in the property. So when they do the contract, they will usually fix up the home because it's going to be theirs. They take care of the home a lot better because it's going to be theirs. And they actually, you know, invest money and time into the home, and they're more concerned about their home. So that's the big deal. Number 1 is the mentality of the person you're working with. 2 totally different people. The number 2 reason why rent to own, in my opinion, is better than rental is the maintenance issue. So when you have a rental, you are responsible as a landlord for all of the toilets, air conditioners, plumbing, HVAC, air conditioners, all that stuff. It breaks, you got to fix it. You have to spend your time, your money, your energy thinking about those things on a weekly, monthly, daily basis. And so on a Saturday, when the air condition is leaking through the ceiling because it is overflowing in the drain pan, guess what? You gotta handle that on a Saturday afternoon on your way to your favorite college football game, or just, you know, there's just, these things actually happen and are real, and are not glamorous, but they are part of the landlord experience. You can get a property manager to handle that stuff for you, but of course there's a cost for that as well. So where I like rent to own versus rentals in this aspect is that in this situation, the homeowner, or lessee, pardon me, the person that's living in the house in a rent to own contract is responsible for all of the maintenance. This is huge because that means instead of worrying about going and fixing something in someone's house, I can go play golf. I can spend time with my kids. I can spend time with my family. I don't have to worry about it. So how does that work? People that have a problem with their air conditioner, have a problem with their plumbing, with all these different issues, they have to fix it themselves. They don't have to wait on you to fix it for them. So that's their expense, their cost, and they gladly do it because they are going to be the homeowners of the house, and they actually would rather do it because they have ownership and a feeling of pride in their house and in what they're doing. So that's a pretty big reason for me to do rent to own, is the whole maintenance issue. If you've ever talked to a landlord, what's their biggest complaint? Oh, I gotta fix toilets, or the air conditioner's out, all the people, you know, they don't take care of the house and stuff. Well, guess what? When you do rent to own, 90% of the time, these people are taking care of the issues that are in the house because it's in the lease and in the contract for them to do it. So huge, huge. So the final reason why I love, now there's lots more reasons, but these are the big three for me. Number three is that there is a down payment for someone doing a rent to own. Now, let me explain this because this is so important, okay? So a typical rent to own down payment for me on a property is usually 10% of the value of the property. So if I have a house that I am doing a rent to own on for, and the purchase price or the sell price of the house is $120,000, then I'm gonna try to get $12,000 down. And I will wait for the person that has that money to come along and put down on that house. Sometimes I'll negotiate with them for a lower down payment and a higher monthly payment. And that's part of being creative real estate. So what does this higher down payment do? I've heard of some people paying only a couple thousand down. That's fine, that's great for them. You can do whatever you want. Me personally, what I've found over the years is, one, if you don't do a down payment, you are setting yourself up for a huge headache because the people aren't gonna stay in your house. They're gonna trash your house, and they are going to do opposite of everything that rent to own is trying to accomplish. I've had friends that I've gone and helped set up rent to own for their houses and get into rent to own. And you know what? Sometimes they listen to me, sometimes they don't, and they wind up renting to own their property to a friend or somebody they know, and they didn't take a down payment. And guess what? The deal falls apart because the people are not able to make the payments. If you can't put money down on a rent to own and put a sizable down payment, that shows that you are not able to probably make the payments. Also, if you put a large down payment down on the rent to own, guess what? That probably means you're gonna take a great care of that house because now you have some skin in the game. The person living in that house is not gonna trash that house. They're not just gonna walk away from that house. They're not gonna do something that would be just stupid and lose the house, like not make their payments. So this really, really is the crux of rent to own, is that down payment, you've got to get it. And in doing so, you ensure that it's gonna be a good experience for you and the person living in the house. The biggest reason, of course, for the down payment is what I just explained, but also is, hey, you get money back in your pocket. So if you buy a house for, let's just use an example. Let's say you buy a $100,000 house, okay? And your bank requires that you put 20% down, okay? So you come out of pocket $20,000 to buy this house. Now you turn around and rent to own it to somebody, and they give you 10% down because you now sold them the house for, let's say, $115,000. Well, now they give you $11,500. You can put that back in your pocket, and now you're in that house for $9,500, not $20,000. Typically what happens to me, and it's not what we set out to do, but typically what happens to me is over the life of a house, you know, things happen with people. They lose their jobs, they get divorced, just normal people stuff, and they wind up giving the house back to me. Nothing that I did to them, but it's just kind of their own doing. And sometimes I'll have 3-4 down payments and this process over the life of a house before I finally sell the house or the people actually try to buy the house. That's the 3 biggest reasons why I love rent to own versus rental. The headache is not there, I'm making more money, and I know the property is going to be taken care of at the end of the day. And what a relief it is for me to invest in real estate and not have to worry about those things. So I'm minimizing my capital that's going into the houses, and it's just a win-win deal for me. I did some rentals recently, and I looked at my wife and she looked at me and I said, what the heck am I doing? And she's like, you are crazy, because you of all people know that you hate rentals, and I do. So well, that's this video. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you got something. If you'd like to learn more about rent to own and rentals and real estate, then I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel and follow me along on my investing journey. Really appreciate your time, and I'll see you on the next video.